Hey guys, welcome to CraftiQ challenge for July. I did this scrapbooking live, so you get a voiceover, and a lot of editing was done to cut out all the chit chat. Total in time with all the talking, it was about an hour and 12 minutes, but I believe at like 52 minutes, I was pretty much done. And that was with chit chatting and whatnot. So the items that are in the challenge, you should have seen in the beginning there, but you needed to do a paper weaved background, or paper weaving on your background, I should say. 3 or more photos. The twist for during the live was the paper weaving had to be at least 4 plus 4 different pattern papers. So as long as you had more than 4, you were set, or 4 or more, I should say. And here I am just showing off. I am using the scrapbooking kit, Simple Stories, America the Beautiful. I and got this kit plus the pattern paper add-on, embellishment add-on, and the Shots of Life. So I had all these extra goodies as well. But I thought it was good because I'd already cut into it. It'd be a good one to cut apart into strips to do some paper weaving. So I definitely I think I end up with 5 or 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different patterns that I use. And I have 4 photos of my son. I couldn't narrow it down to 1 or 2 because they're all very similar shots. So I thought this would be good. Plus this sketch that I showed you at the beginning, you'll see it up here in the corner again, is the throwback sketch. It's not Missy Winnan. It's a sketch for the scrap room for July. It is Laura Whitaker sketch that they have going on. So the items, or the layers, I should say, for the CraftiQ challenge this month are, yes, paper weave your background, 3 plus photos. Use colored cardstock. So I've got some blue cardstock, came in my scrap room flavors of the month kit. And add cork, add gold, and use foam thickers and add some sequins. So one of my papers is a golden color, but I do end up adding a chipboard thicker later as a gold title. And yeah, is that the only gold I add? It is. I was like, I didn't do any splatters because I did my sequins. But what I did is I got both the cardstocks that come with the Flavors of the Month kit, and then I rated my stash and used some wood grain paper. You saw that, what kind of pack it was a little bit ago, is one I got on a Cherry on Top. Cut those papers down, and now I'm going to mat all my photos as well on this blue cardstock, the inside of it. So that worked out perfect to gut it, and then lined them all up. So my plan is for the sketch, like I said, you're going to see that here in a little bit. There's a big circle on the left-hand page. I'm going to use that as my paper weaving spot. And then there's 2 clusters. There's one cluster down on the bottom left of the left-hand page, and then on the upper right on the right-hand page. And I'm going to just create little paper weaving spots over there as well. So that way I have kind of my paper weaving throughout. Now these are just some photos. I don't even remember why he was in the truck. My son was in the truck peeking through the sun roof. I want to say like we had just come home and he unbuckled, and maybe we were getting things out of the truck and he was just dinking around. But he decided to peek his head through the sunroof, and it's just a nice photo. So nothing too magical to say for the journaling, but I did add on the back of one of the, or on the golden paper, actually, the backside was a cut apart sheet. It was part of the Shots of Life kit for July from the scrap room. And so I did keep one of those cards that looked like notebook paper, and I did notebook punch the top, and that tucked into that far right photo over there, if you didn't see that part. So now I'm just arranging my paper strips to start some paper weaving, and I want mine to be irregular and not even. So I'm gonna just start paper weaving. I'm not gonna make you watch me do the entire thing because that would take forever. It would take probably the whole hour that it took me to do this layout. That was what took the most time. But I'm gonna do 3 of the patterns going one way and only 2 going the other way. And the way paper weaving, I feel like, always turns out. Even if you'd have papers that you don't think would go well together, if you paper weave them together, it's just a neat feature that it always looks good, I think. So I'm using 4 of the papers are from the collection, and 2 of the other ones are actually the border strips off my wood grain background. Now I used up all those on this paper weave, so I have to use the strips from what I cut off of it when I trimmed them down for the other little clusters of paper weaving that you'll see in a little bit. But they're both gray patterns, so it worked out. It didn't like conflict or anything, and it didn't. To me, it wasn't super noticeable that you could tell that it was a different pattern on this main paper weaving area versus the 2 little clusters that are going to be paper weaved. I guess you can be judged of that, but it doesn't bother me. My page, don't care, right? So I've got my paper weaving, I've got my more than 3 photos. I've technically got gold because I have a gold color, but we will add, like I said, a gold thicker from an old thicker sheet from One Canoe 2, which I love those collections. So that'll be my title, end up going on top of my photos. And I'm going to pull out, and I've got my colored cardstock used, and I'll pull out some cork hearts that I think are from Redefined Crave. I'm not sure. They might be from Shadney. I can't remember. I took them out of the packaging, but I will grab those out in a little bit, and I'm going to add some sequins. I end up doing Deep Rose Sea from Spiegelmom Scraps because it has some different blues and reds and iridescent whites. And so I grabbed 2 other strips of paper. They're actually the same paper. One's the A side, one's the B side from this collection. And I'm going to I just cut 2 12-inch strips. They're about 3 inches thick or wide, and just layered them on top of each other across the page and layered my photos on top of them. So I've got all that glued down, and now I'm creating my little clusters of paper weaving, and I will move the sketch out of the corner here in a second so you can see where that's going to go. Clearly the photos are a lot smaller, but I like that you can at least kind of get from the sketch what I wanted you to get from the sketch from what I did. So I'm going to create this little paper weaving cluster that's going to go up and tuck behind my little journaling card and behind the right photo. And then I will make one for the bottom left. And then I'll bring in all the fun things, the cork hearts, the sequins. I actually use some of the enamel dots that I got in this kit and some of the floral stickers on the sticker sheet and layer them in all the paper weaving areas to make clusters over there. Now, it was tons of fun doing paper weaving. I highly recommend you try that with the challenge and do some paper weaving on your page if you haven't done it already. Like I said, for some reason, it's just a neat feature that I feel like no matter what you use, it always ends up looking cool. And it sometimes looks cooler than you think it's going to. It always exceeds my expectations, let me say that. I haven't done any paper weaving in a really long time, and so doing this was super, super fun. But while we were talking during the live, we were discussing how I was like, I'm just a sketch person. I love sketches. I love taking them, twisting them, adding what I want, interpreting them the way I want. I just really love sketches. I love the jumping off point. I probably will always be a sketch person, and unfortunately, that means not a lot of like unique designs, but I started designing my own sketches just when I wanted to be creative, but I didn't feel like I knew what I wanted to do, so I made some sketches. So I have about 6 sketches I've created, and so we started talking about this during the live, and so I actually released a sketch over on the CraftiQ Challenge Facebook group, which will be linked down below, and kind of challenged everybody and said, you know what, we were talking about sketches and our love of sketches. Here, why don't you guys pick a sketch? So the few ladies that were on the live got to pick from my sketches which ones I should release. And so I released one, and there's like an extra little bonus challenge, and I'm going to pick a random winner. So go check out the CraftiQ Challenge Facebook group, and you have until August 5th to create a layout with the sketch that I posted. There's a separate album, post it in the album, and then I'm going to shop my stash and send you a goodie bag box of fun things from my stash. And so that was something. And then we decided that one of the sketches should be used in one of the challenges upcoming. So I already have September August and September set. So October will be, we're going to use one of my sketches for the CraftiQ challenge. So stay tuned for that. And I know that Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life is looking for, she wants to do all exclusive sketches for 30 days of sketches from now on, just because of the drama that was happening this year, which I don't know why that came and where that came from, but whatever. So I've created a couple sketches for that as well. So we will see another one of my sketches there. And so I also thought it'd be fun that maybe during one of my future lives, if whoever joins in wants to give me items that they'd like to see in a sketch, I would definitely draw some inspiration and maybe create a sketch for us too. So there, while I was yammering on all about that, I've added the cork hearts and put my title down. And then I realized that it's not a foam thicker, and specifically the challenge is foam. So I do go dig in my stash and I see that I have a day that's in foam from like a fall collection, but it's black. So it's going to be Sunkissed Day. I'm going to add that right now. But I add sequins, enamel dots, and all those little clusters. And then I'll add my journaling at the end. But that is pretty much the gist of it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you check out everybody else who is playing along this month that decided to join in the hop. Remember, the hop is not a requirement. It's just something like, just to kind of give it's kind of like PR for the Facebook group, just to hop every month on the 20th. So if you've created, go ahead and join in the hop. You don't have to, but go ahead and go to the Facebook group and just check out all the inspiration. Play along if you want to. Post to the album, post to the group. It's all good. You don't have to hop along, but I highly encourage you to try out something you haven't done in a while, like paper weaving. So thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Bye.